Yeah, this one has like, they're called different things. Yeah, it's all under the same umbrella. School type program. And the first program was a community bike shop, the Third Ward Bike Shop, which is right here.
It was 3.
Okay.
Close enough.
So in the first program was Third Ward Bike Shop, which is like an open bike shop for any community member to work on their own bike for free, as well as an earn a bike program, which is a way for mainly children to earn a bike after school. Like they go through a 5-step program, and basically by learning little mechanical skills, repairing a bike, stripping a bike down, and building one up that gets donated to charity, a kid can walk away with a few more mechanical skills in their own bicycle, which is a pretty cool thing because there isn't a lot of social infrastructure in Third Ward. A lot of that's been gutted over the years. And sort of Third Ward Bike Shop was the first program, but it's expanded into the other after-school programs, including the Scholar Shop, which is like an after-school tutorial program, and they have different book readings and things like that, and that's done in this building right here. And Style Shop, which is where kids get to design their own t-shirts, pillows, different things like that. And also Chopper Shop, which is an extension of the bike shop, where kids like, y'all have seen choppers, right? Like the little like decked out bikes that are all like crazy shapes and that. A lot of kids really get into those. And so they, not only do they get to build their own chopper, like a bike that they really get into, but they also learn things like welding, you know, like grinding, all of these skills that could potentially be turned into a job. Like it's part of building a better foundation for students in this area and just building up the community. And there's also a beat shop, which is where kids get to design their own hip-hop beats and have that. So there are a lot of aspects that this organization is going for in like community enrichment through children in the neighborhood. And yeah, if y'all ever want to volunteer, like it's very open to be volunteering there. I've been volunteering for about 2 years on and off. And yeah, it's just like an after-school program.
Hundreds of awards for its humanitarian efforts. Its mission, to improve the quality of life for people of African descent, all people, through programs and activities with an emphasis on unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, faith. SHAPE has helped implement a police-civilian review committee and actively fights injustice for the security of human rights. Community events include after-school/summer enrichment program, the Vegan Cafe, African dance and drumming classes, a fruit and vegetable cooperative held the 3rd Saturday of every month, parental assistance classes, death penalty abolition movement, drug treatment referral, tobacco preventative measures, annual freedom tour, retracing the civil rights movement, Pump Up the Power Youth Leadership Program, and many other culturally responsible events. In addition to all of this, they also serve as a wonderful place to host events and has recently hosted Ashanti Austin, the Anarchist Panther, with the help of Sedition Books.
Whose purpose is to establish a foundation organized and operated exclusively for educational purposes. No part of the net earnings of which inures to the benefit of any member of the foundation. KPFT is nearly self-sustaining. In radio broadcast operations, it seeks to encourage and provide outlets for the creative skills and energies of the community, to conduct classes and workshops in the writing and production of drama, to establish awards and scholarships for creative writing, to offer performance facilities to amateur instrumentalists, choral groups, orchestral groups, and music students, and to promote and aid other creative activities which will serve the cultural welfare of the community. They host such shows as Democracy Now!, Earth 101, Free Speech News Radio, Nuestra Palabra, Arab Voices, Gay, Lesbian, Bi, and Transgender Variety, Houston Indie Media, and many other culturally relevant shows. For more info, visit kpft.org.
Missing that, we wanted a place that people could come find an anarchist and talk to us and find out what our ideas were, and that we could have literature to show what our ideas that we were, struggling in these other groups to change society, and so what our goals and ideals were. We were driving that. And so we were open there for about a year. we had really limited resources. We were all, you know, I think I was the oldest one. I was like 22, 23 when we started it. So we were all pretty inexperienced, pretty limited resources. It took a while to kind of pick up, but we had free clothes for anybody in the neighborhood to drop in. The neighborhood was still a little bit more of a neighborhood over there than it is now. It wasn't like all these clustered condos. It was on being pushed out, but there was still working class families that had lived there for a long time. So we had free internet for the neighborhood, we had free clothes, and then we also had events and literature available. And that one ended up getting burned down. I lived there with 2 other people because it didn't pay its own rent, so we like worked our jobs and paid the rent on the whole building and lived in the back half and had the info shop in the front half. And there was a spot right 1 block away where day laborers used to wait to get picked up, and they came over and they were telling, there's another, what's the community center?
Casa Juan Diego.
Casa Juan Diego, which is Catholic worker affiliated group, which is like a, you know, leftist, they're religious, but they're like support social movements for people that are trying to work against oppression. And so the day laborers had come and talked to some of these groups in the area and said they were being threatened by guys who were driving up to them and saying they were in the KKK and saying, like, if you don't get out of my country, you're going to end up dead. So some different groups, including Anti-Racist Action and the collective from the info shop, went down to the corner that weekend to hold banners and help defend the day laborers and help send a message to the Klan, like, no, you don't get to run shit in this city. Like, you don't get to threaten people like this. The community's going to stand up and defend people. And the Klan didn't show up. People were saying they saw suspicious people driving by. We stood on the corner, it started to rain. We said, hey, we've got an info shop, we've got a space right down the street, we can come put some coffee on, get out of the rain. And we all just walked right down the middle of the road. Still, we're saved from the original space, and but all of the stuff that was for sale got ruined, all of our like personal stuff, computers.
Warmly regarded, even though they were supposed to be protecting something that was for the community. I don't know. In the end, they ended up having a riot type thing because one of their members had been taken and put in jail. And they heard rumors that he had been murdered, so they were going to storm the police station and try to figure out what had happened. They start to march there, they're all armed and everything, and then someone says, oh, look, there's a whole crowd of white people, a mob of white people coming towards us. So they start firing. They end up killing 2 of their own people, several of the white people, one of which was a colonel for the army, and they felt really bad about that. They ended up, like, it was just like a big, basically all-out gunfire war between the 2 sides, and a bunch of people ended up dying, but the guy who was leading the riot for the black people ended up going back afterwards and shooting himself in the head, supposedly, although the coroner's report says that he had bayonet wounds and that his skull was crushed, but history has it written that he shot himself in the head. Anyway, 7 of the men agreed to testify for amnesty. 118 indicted, 110 prosecuted, 19 hanged, and 63 others were given life sentences. 2 white people were charged and the charges were dropped. It's just another very, very obvious case of the system working against black people and for white people, because everyone should have been guilty in this case.